My name is Valeri Lantz-Gefroh. I'm an actor, and I'm a teacher, and I'm a director. And at this point in my life, I am the Improvisation Program Leader at the Alan Alda Center for Communicating Science at Stony Brook University. I'm an associate professor there, and I work with a range of students, undergrads, medical students, grad students, all the way up to doctors and senior researchers. I teach courses at Stony Brook, and I travel around the country conducting workshops. So I have a huge range of students that I work with. And what I work on is improvisational theater techniques to help scientists and medical professionals communicate more effectively with the public. A lot of people think of improv as being something that makes you be entertaining or makes you be funny. That's a very specific style of improv, and that's not really what we work on at the Alda Center. We work on a technique that was developed by a woman named Viola Spolin. And she has a whole method of training that revolves around games, theater games, that put you in contact with your fellow players and help you listen more actively and respond more spontaneously, be more vivid and expressive in the way that you're communicating. And so we play games with scientists to help them connect. I think key to improv is understanding that communication is not about me talking, it's about us connecting. And that is a lot of what the games are there to do, is to help you listen in a way that helps you understand what it is that you need to say. Adjusting on the fly. It's great to go in with a plan. It's important to have a plan. But it's equally important to recognize when that plan isn't working and where you're able to make an adjustment. It's difficult to explain improv if you don't know what it is, but let me tell you a little story. So one of the beginning exercises that we do in improv is called the mirror exercise. And in this kind of an exercise, one person is leading and another person is following. And the leader might do a movement that the follower has to stay with. And then the follower would take over as the leader of the mirror. And it goes back and forth with one person leading and the other person following, changing back and forth, back and forth. It's a really intimate exercise. We don't often make eye contact for long periods of time. And so a game like this forces you into really recognizing the nuance of what's going on with another person. And we do this exercise with all of our students, but it was brought home to me by a medical student how important improv has been to him. He took our course when he was a second-year medical student, and he came back to tell me this story as a third-year medical student when he was starting to see patients. He waited for an hour to speak to me after my class in the evening because this was an important moment for him. And he said, "I want you to know, now that I'm seeing patients, I use improv every day of my life." And it was really brought home to him the first time he had to break bad news to a patient. He was with an attending, and the news that they had to break was that the woman's cancer had metastasized and she had only a few weeks left to live. And he was terrified about delivering this news. He'd never done that before, but he was a medical student, so he didn't really have to say anything. He just had to go in and witness how this played out. And so he said, we went into the room, and the doctor explained pretty simply what he thought, what was going on. And the woman didn't react. She had no reaction. And so they got ready to leave the room, and the medical student said, I didn't think she understood what was going on. I didn't think she got it. And so he asked permission to stay and speak with her, and he was given permission, which is very unusual. And he said, what I did was I went into the room and I sat down with her and we held hands. And I explained as simply as I could. I didn't use the word metastasis, I didn't use prognosis, no multi-syllable words, just simple language. And I knew that the pace had to be slow, because if this were me, it would take me a while to absorb that. So I explained this slowly and simply. And he said, for the first time, the woman started to cry. And when she cried, it made him cry. And when he cried, she had a question to ask. And he said, ultimately, it was the perfect mirror, with me leading simply enough for her to follow, and then me giving up the leadership of the mirror so that I knew where she was. And he said, ultimately, it was the perfect mirror, with both of us leading and both of us following, back and forth, back and forth. And he said what came out of it was that I understood something about how to be a better doctor as I was helping her understand the end of her life. I mean, it's an incredible story. It's a humbling story. But that is the work of improv, to put you so deeply in contact and connection with your audience, whether that's in a one-on-one level or a one-on-1,000 level, that you're connected and responding in the moment to what that person needs. So we do this kind of work in intimate ways like that, but also in ways that just help people become more vivid and playful and expressive, and use their passions to bring to what it is that they're communicating about. In our case, it happens to be about science. But these kind of techniques, I think, are key to any interactions that we have in today's society. With teachers and students, it would be wonderful if policymakers were able to listen differently, not just listen to pay lip service to it, but listen to actually hear how to create new policies and new political agendas. So I think these are universal tools, but the privilege that I have is in working with scientists and helping them communicate. That's what I do.